as you can see behind me, we've been reformatting between some of the cuts in the videos to get the best backgrounds possible, the best angles possible. So bear with us. There are going to be a few changes that happen. There's going to be some parts in the drop box or in the side box that move around just a little bit. We've corrected some color contrast, gotten some better lighting in here. We got better microphone going. So really hoping that these tutorials are helping everyone, and we'll get right into it now. Okay, so we left off the ShoreTrooper Calves after shooting in screws through the wood blocks and joining all those sections. These have actually been sitting up about 10 days right now. These have only been clamped overnight with a little bit of heat applied. They're getting their shape really well just by being clamped. Don't be afraid to ever hit it with a heat gun. Keep it on a lower setting and a low fan. Heat that general area and then bend it over your knee to the desired shape and hold it until it cools. That really does help retain its shape. But we should be done covering that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the clamps because they're just going to get in the way for the day. And we'll just set these over here to the side for now too, because we have the parts themselves to discuss. Okay, so I actually started these a while ago and had a computer malfunction. So we're going to point out a couple of the details that are in these straps. It's made to resemble that the strap is actually running through the buckle. And since these are open molds, it leaves a arch that needs to be belt sanded out. It'll lay down without it and look just fine. Let's go to a screen share and show you why that was done specifically. And this is a picture that I took at Star Wars Weekends. Not Star Wars Weekends, I'm sorry. Hollywood Studio, whenever the ShoreTrooper and the Imperial Ground Crew and several other things were on display there. Things I wanted to point out were the similarities that we had with our buckle. This is what we tried to emulate to the best of our abilities. But there's a little bit more work involved with it beyond that point. We don't need that up anymore, and we head into the infinity. There. Get back to this for a second. Let me just go to the overhead. So, about the buckle and the way it runs through, we always strive for accuracy wherever we can put it. Obviously, there are going to be some deviations, but that's one key detail that we had noticed. It's really easy just to take the buckle and glue them on and then run these straps around, but that's not how they were done. When we did them in separate parts, we used to take the buckles and grind it out and bring it through there so that it created that loop before going to this one-piece cast system. The one-piece cast system's just easier to deal with. This rubber doesn't have a good working time, so it's the best thing that we can do to make it pour. Now when it comes to the rubber straps, because this is what's really next, is they're fresh out of the mold whenever you get them, so they're going to have some flashing and whatnot on it. Let me just do that again. You're going to notice that these just come raw out of the mold. There's going to be a slick back on it, and that's going to get sanded a bit on the belt sander. There's going to be a little bit of flashing and whatnot that's on them. So you'll just take your razor knife and find these extra spots and just cut them away real lightly. There's not a lot to do here. In the previous video that was recorded, I did most of the cleanup on them and then lost the video, so due to a power outage. So it corrupted the files. So we're just doing it again. Nothing real special. There are only a few spots that really need to some attention before we take them to the belt sander. See how these look. That's pretty good, and that's pretty good. Another little thing here is the straps. I've got one this length, and then let's get them side by side. I've got one here that's shorter, a good bit shorter actually. So this is a full casting length. We generally tend to cut off about 12 squares, and you're still needing to cut off a good bit more to wrap it around, unless you just have really big calves or need an extension on them. It's a good happy medium. Other things that we need to do here are get to the belt sander and start sanding the bottoms, not just the arch bottoms here, but all the shiny bottoms. We're going to be velcroing or gluing down Velcro to the backs of the ends of the straps so that you can get them on and off and leave it as one continuous piece. So you're going to sand anyway, and with that I'll go ahead and jump on the sander here. You can see from that we've just taken the shiny side off and left it ready for assembly. So we're going to repeat that process with all these pieces. Okay, all those are sanded. These are a little bit more difficult. I am going to get the arch in. You can see where I started taking it away, but we're going to be doing a bit more. All right. After getting just a wee bit dusty, you can see the arch that got put in here really well. And this is where we're sitting. And you can see a huge curve difference. It's just 80 grit paper. That's a brand new one, Diablo brand. Got it at Home Depot. Ryobi belt sanders, they retail at $160. I know you can get Harbor Freight ones for $100. Sometimes this Ryobi goes on sale. It's been pretty good. I think this one's been in the shop for about 1.5 years, and we just picked up another one. So if you're going to be doing this hobby a while, just pick up a belt sander. Unless your armor comes completely trimmed and ready, it's still a very handy tool. So after this, let me go ahead and do a test fit here real quick. What do we have? Remember, guys, buckles go on the outside. Oh, yeah. There we go. I'm plenty well happy with the way that curve is. It will sit in just about anywhere it needs to. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. All right. So that one looks good. We'll make this other one match. I'll just go to the overhead camera so you can see the sanding in action again. Made all this nice, table space here and decided to put a prop on it instead. So now we have this much table space to work with until I put something smaller right here anyway. It's really nice having a clean shop and try and keep it as clean as possible. All right, so we're on to the next phase. Putting these together. Actually, this could use just a touch more on the bottom. At this stage, we're not going to put any Velcro in yet. We need to get all the buckles positioned and mounted. And that's where our old friends, pencils and super glue and snips and scissors and quite a few other things come into play. So, we keep talking about tools and things that you really need to build armor. This is our hobby. This is what we do. We build armor. It's going to take some work, You know, we're fans, we're creators, we're makers, but as you can see, we build our own things as well, and we have no problem doing it. It depends on what level of the hobby you really want to be in. Would you rather just be a painter? Maybe you're not an assembler. You know, I'm not particularly fond of masking. I do it, I can do it just fine, but there's plenty of other things that I'd rather do, which is just being here doing the builds and the initial creation. So figure out what level of the hobby you're in and scale yourself appropriately. You know, our kits are really cheap. Put in the work, put it together, and you can sell them just the same. You're selling your labor, you're selling yourself. That's probably not needing to be put in the video. All right, cut back to it. So we have our grooves now in both of these. They're pretty close to matching, and I'm pretty positive they're both going to fit just fine. Yeah. And they're going to kind of line up in line with the strap on the other side. That's an area that needs to be cut out. I may have mentioned it in another video, but that may have been the one that got deleted. You can see that the notches are out right there. The notches are not out on this one. So simple solution of that is your snips and a razor blade. Just snip it. Oh, and a little sandpaper. You're going to need some sandpaper. Sandpaper's part of everything. All right. This tip is sharp. There we go. Doesn't want to come out. There it is. Trash can there. There we go. That's just the beauty of working with plastics. They're very easy to manipulate. Oh, come on. I thought I had some Porsche paper up here. I think it went in my kit. Oh, that's fine. That's too coarse. I just don't want that. All right. So we're going to use some 120. Just do a little sanding. Round off the corners a bit, give it a neat, clean appearance. All right. So, got left and rights. Where do the buckles go? On the outside. Try not to forget that. Real easy thing to mess up on. Did it myself too. So, we're dealing with the right. Ooh, all the dust. And I'm really lining it up by eyeball at first. I'm gonna see where it's gonna lay, project the path, you know. See it cross over, make sure it's horizontal. Like, yeah, that looks pretty good. You know, I like that. So we'll take pencil and do our pencil marks so we know where we're sanding and we know where we're putting in glue. So we have a pencil mark and sand in that area. See, we've already sanded this, so we don't need to worry about that. All right, get all my alignment points. And when I'm gluing this, I'm actually going to leave this lip just slightly up. I'm not going to glue down this side right here so that we can get the other strap right up underneath it if we can. There's plenty of room there for that. So we'll limit our glue around most of the perimeter and make a cutoff point about right here. If we don't like it, you can just glue it in later. There's a million ways to assemble your own armor. This is an instance where I'm going to go ahead and put activator on the back side, and we'll start in the back and work our way to the front for the lineup. Already nice and stuck down. Still got a lip. I'm not going to put any pressure on it at this stage. You can see the strap has a little bit of a gap right there, so that's actually good. We can get some super glue in there if we need to. Nonetheless, we can get some accelerant in and make sure it's cured up. As long as you have some sticking, it's not going to go anywhere. And then we have all this underside that's kind of hidden that we can work with. Drop a little glue down in there. Blow it in place. You know, you have the option at this point where you can either sand it off, or if it's a dirty suit, you can use those kind of things for weathering. If you have like a little bit of glue on the outside, it'll build up for some nice dirt, grime, whatever you need it to. All right, this one's stuck pretty well. So I'm going to take the short strap because we're not going to have to cut much off of this. I'm just going to go ahead and cut the ugly casting portion of it off right there. And we need to swing this around and get a test fit. There we go. Got that locked in. We know that these are going to close up about like this. Let's go ahead and grab a small clamp and see how far forward we are. There we go. And judging by this, we still have to cut just a tiny bit off so it goes in so it all goes in place. I'm only going to cut off 2 squares, 1.5. Of course, this won't do it right now. Well, we'll cut off 2. There. If you didn't see that because the shin was hidden, well, the shin was hiding it. There we go. That's much better. Much better fit. So, like what we see here, liking what we got, let's bring out our old friend, the pencil. Because I lied with the way that we are going to do this connection. These are set up to open with the cover strap coming out. So instead of actually buckling here, we're going to want to buckle it here. And it's only going to take a little bit of Velcro on the back end of it to set it in place. I'll go ahead and start over here though by just gluing all of this down up until this point. Make sure that the back of this strip gets sanded though. It's always about test fit. Test fit, test fit, test fit. Before you put anything down, test fit it. So I'm happy with what I'm seeing here. So we're just going to glue through the cover strip section right here. And we're going to leave the rest of it loose so that we can have a Velcro connection on the other side. There's no reason to completely enclose it unless you have a really small foot. You can just assemble it all in one piece and slide your foot in. That would be great. I sure can't do that. Oh, repeat procedure. Make sure you're contacting plenty of surface area. This is going to take the bulk of the abuse for this entire set of armor, is when you're taking this on and off. Back side a little. Glued myself to it right there. All right. And that is just going to Velcro in right there. No problem. Adjustable strap. We'll get to putting down the Velcro on these in just a little bit. Next up are the ankle straps, which are done almost identically to the calf strap. Except on the bottom position. And you start by lining it up with the middle wedge and there goes the clamp. The other side is the final connection point. I don't know how much of this y'all can see. I'm just wrapping it. There's nothing real special about this one. It's really easy to do. It's really easier than this one. We're just making some floppy straps to run around. And grab that little clamp that fell. We'll take you through the procedure again using the left side. Oh, clamp is good. And we will cut off. We'll cut off 3. I remember cutting off more on other suits. This one's just set up for standard assembly, just like it was originally made, just like they popped off the molds. So that's ideally up to you. All right, so what we're marking here is the Velcro positioning and where that's going to end up. So we're going to run a little piece of Velcro here, We got this one coming this way. We've already got pencil marks in place, so we know we're going to run a little Velcro through here. I lay down the hard side, not the fuzzy side, and we glue down the fuzzy side to the back of the straps. I really wish I had some white Velcro right now, but I don't, and that's okay. Because the buckles on this, and he's got weathering, and nobody will ever see it anyway. No reason to get uptight about things of that nature, so we'll just put a little piece right here. Now notice I haven't put Velcro on the back of the calf yet. That's because I actually do like to wait till after paint to do that. I like to paint on as little Velcro as possible if I'm using Velcro in the build. So I'd rather just sand the paint off after painting and then apply Velcro to that. Just seems to work a little bit better in my experience. Ow. Just a little piece here, doesn't take much. Okay, now we're on to our fuzzy Velcro. Save this little piece for doing this other set. So I'm onto the fuzzy Velcro here, and we're going to take a wee bit there, there, and this is a lot of fun. May as well just cut out all the strips at the same time. Sitting here thinking, only doing it once, when I know that's a lie. I am not going to peel this back. I'm just test fitting right now. And this is also just not the most fun thing to do, because we are going to be setting the Velcro on the back end with super glue, and the best way I've had to make this work is by directly applying the super glue, spraying the other side, and immediate placement over. Let it work its magic and do its chemical bonding. It'll melt through the glue and like do this crazy chemical bond thing. I mean, you're going to have to, maintain and repair these kind of things because it's not permanent. No movie prop built anywhere is permanent. I mean, almost out of the box, you can have parts popping off and having issues. It just happens. We'll give it a supplementary squirt to catch the edges. Most of this is probably going to end up hidden anyway. Then we'll do the same thing with the thick side right here. Pre-squirt, post-squirt. And we can pretty much call this wrapped up. There's a little bit of heat. And that's just tidied up in place. There's this one. Just tidied on up in place. And we have a complete cap. The only thing left to do is apply Velcro across your back seam. Even though, honestly, looking at it right now, if you strap yourself into this, your armor's going to rattle more, but you'd be just fine. If you need to do anything, don't even run a full strip. Just put a little bit at the top and bottom, and you'll be good to go to keep a nice permanent closure. Still playing with these curves here a little bit. It's got a nice curve to it, but we need that to keep developing some memory. You know, you just repeat the same process for the left side. Just remember, if the buckles go on the outside, the opposite of where the retention strap appears to be. And then your strap can position just about any which way. That's going to wrap us up now for the ShoreTrooper and Tank Driver Shin assembly tutorials. Other things to note. Well, I really don't have anything to note. Just repeat the procedure, but opposite ways, and you will have your other leg. And we'll probably see it here in the future. Thank you guys, and happy trooping.